does it mean to be a lead consultant and above, and how do we get to those next steps? And so just understand that even if you are a lead or above, or even if you are just a baby essential consultant, that we will have something for you, and to please continue to come back every Monday night at this time, and we will continue to pour into you the best that we can with the content that we feel is the most important for a lead consultant and above. And so we will continue to dive deeper into the lead and above part towards the end. But again, we are speaking to those essential and certified consultants. So our goal for you with this program, no matter where you fall in that, is to help give you tools to be able to grow a sustainable and healthy business, right? So that hopefully that's why you guys are here, is because you want to know, how do I grow a business that is going to flourish long before my essential certified lead promotions? How do I make sure that it flourishes beyond that? And so that is our goal with these tools that we are giving you, is to be able to pour into you and teach you how to be a leader and a sponsor beyond these first couple of promotions, okay? But obviously we have to take baby steps. And so again, we are so happy that you are here. I am going to, hopefully this will work. What I am going to try to do is share my screen. Oh, Alex, will you allow that for me? I think we tried this before. Oh, perfect. I am going to show you guys, not that. I'm going to show you this, okay? So just real fast, I just want to go over these basic things about what's a lead consultant, right? Because as we're talking about leaping into lead, if you are an essential or certified consultant, you may not even know what that looks like. And so I am going to be very specific with you on what a lead consultant is and how to get there. Because if you do not understand what the compensation plan tells you about what a lead consultant is, this could be all very confusing to you. And so we're going to get that out of the way right off the bat so that you guys can understand. This particular thing that I am sharing with you right now is on your workstation. All you have to do inside your search button on your workstation is type in lead promotion, lead consultant, and it will pop up with a PDF. Anywhere on your workstation, you can type that, and it will pop up with a PDF that you are able to then click on, download, whatever. When we're looking at becoming a lead consultant, these are the requirements for that, what you will earn, and more details below. I'm not going to get into so many of the details, but I did want to point you guys in the direction and just give you the basics, okay? So when we are looking at promoting to a lead consultant, the minimum that you must have in order to promote to a lead consultant or maintain that title, right? Because lead is the first title where you will have to actively maintain that title and to be paid at that title, because now is the first step in your sponsoring journey where you have the ability to be paid off of the people underneath you. And that is very important. This is where money just grows, you guys. And I want you to understand that growing and sponsoring teams is where money will flourish. Your paychecks will see the benefit of that. And I want you guys to get really excited about that and put all your fears away, all of that away, because there is something so magical about sponsoring people, being a part of a team, being able to grow your team in a way where you get to walk beside some of your good friends and go through that together. I promise you there is nothing scary about it, but there are some things that you need to know. And the first step is the compensation plan. And so very simply, your minimum requirements for a lead consultant and for leadership numbers all across the board in order to be paid at title at the bare minimum is 500 PRV every single month. That should be the starting point of your PRV. That should be not your ceiling, not the goal, but it should be the starting point of every single month, okay? So 500, that is the minimum that you need. In order to promote, you will need 1,000 GWV in that month, that same month. So you must have 500, and then whatever accumulates between the one person that you have on your team, or maybe you have 3 people on your team, you guys must have 1,000 GWV in that same month. Now, keep in mind, across the board, your GWV is only 75% of your PRV. So if you have 1,000 GWV, or I mean, sorry, if you have 1,000 PRV, that's only 750 GWV. So in order, if you are looking at numbers, you might want to write this down. In order to have 1,000 GWV, you need 1,333 PRV in order to obtain 1,000 GWV. Very simple to do the math, but understand your GWV is only 75%. And then the last part of this specific promotion is you need one active front line. And what that means is that that is one person who you have sponsored, personally sponsored, they have signed up under you. That's your friend, that's your sister, that's your cousin, that's somebody who's just interested in the opportunity, but that is somebody who has used your join link. And by active, that title right there, active, means that they have 200 PRV. That qualifies as an active consultant, okay? So as we go across the compensation plan, you are going to see that every title requires a certain amount of active frontline. You need to know that, and you need to understand that growing your frontline is of the utmost importance, because you can encourage your team to continue to grow and grow and grow, but at some point you may come down to no active frontline because all of your team have broken off into other teams. And so just remember that it is still very important, no matter where you are, to continue to grow your front line, to continue to sponsor people, because you will need active people every single month to continue to climb the compensation plan and to be paid at title. So 500 PRV is your leadership number. That is the basics for being a leader. And then 1,000 GWV, that's when we're talking about being a lead consultant. So in order to be paid at title, once you promote to lead, you must have these same stats in your workstation. This must be always your goal, is to do 500 PRV, 1,000 GWV between you and your team. Does not matter how many people there are, and then at least one active frontline. Okay, and then of course, what you will see is that you get 25% commission because you've done, if you are as a lead consultant, you've already reached that threshold of 1,000 PRV. So you have promoted to certified, which is amazing. So you've got that extra 5% bonus, and then you'll get an additional 2% on your PWV, which is personal wholesale volume, which is amazing. And then you'll get an additional 2% on your frontline essential or certified consultant TWV bonus, which is at that point just their GWV, their combined or their TWV. So if they're growing a team, then it's their team, and you'll get 2% off of that. So again, as you guys grow the compensation plan, these numbers only increase. And I promise you, you will see the difference. You will see the transformation in your paychecks if you pay attention to what these numbers equate to. And it may seem like small percentages at first, but I promise you, if you keep growing and keep climbing that compensation, really, really big, fruitful paychecks. And so money, but I'm telling you, there is real money to be had, and it starts with getting your PRV in check, and then it starts with growing a team. Okay, so that is the basics. There is more down here that talks about what that looks like. It even breaks down 75% of your PRV level and frontline. So it gives you all of those details, a lot of which I just talked about. So definitely pay attention, and at the bottom of it, it tells you what are your next steps to promote to star consultant, which is amazing. So be familiar with the compensation plan, but right now, of course, we are just talking about the lead, and so it is so important for you guys to recognize that these are the numbers that you want to be paying attention to, and it should be your goal, and then your next goal should be promoting to the next level. And so understand what that looks like. Okay, I don't know how to get back to my regulars, right? Let's see here. Can I come back over here?
There should be a stop sharing button for your screen on the top or bottom. If you take your mouse over it. Or try pressing escape and see if it pulls you out of.
Can you just make Alex the host again?
Yeah, let me try to do
that. Okay, it says I'm the host now. So screen share, this will stop others, yes. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay, can you guys see my screen now? Hopefully so. And then I'm going to spotlight my video so you guys see me and you see the screen I'm sharing. Okay. Hey
Yes.
guys, this is really cool. I don't think that we have ever done a program quite like this with so many people in tuned and tuning on outside of Facebook, which I think is super awesome. I'm so excited for what September will bring. And we're just going to dive into it, guys. Bree talked about our goal. Our goal here with this program is to take you newer consultants or these consultants who've been around for a while, but you kind of want to take the next step into your business, into leadership, into growing your team, into seeing success in your Scentsy business month after month. We're not just talking a good month or you recruit one person and you know, that's it. We're talking about growing a strong, successful business. And a lot of what Bree is talking about, the 500 minimum, that's very important, you guys. But I want to encourage you guys to go bigger and bolder and higher than 500 PRV minimum, okay? I was always taught that 500 PRV means you have maybe 7 to 15 people in your business for that month, okay? And so that's great. But imagine if you could double, triple, quadruple that. Then you're looking at 40 to 60 to 80 people inside your business every single month. That's a lot more people that you can build those relationships with and interact with and host parties with, and maybe they're going to be interested in joining, right? It also means that your business is healthy. You're meeting people, you're talking to people, okay? So I just want to encourage you guys that 500 PRV is the minimum to have a team and get the leadership bonuses and to really promote to lead consultant. You have to have your 500 minimum. But we want to encourage you guys to really get in the habit of shooting for higher. Right. And so a lot of it, a lot of what we're going to talk about during this program is based off of the 3 legs of success, which a superstar director and her husband created this system or this idea that your business is run on these 3 legs of success. And the first one is sales, then sponsoring, and then coaching. But you see the foundation is self-care. So self-care can look different. It does look different for everyone, right? And we're going to go into some of these things like boundaries, right? Or business hours. But you guys also trainings and eating well and drinking water and, you know, having your Sundays off or, you know, logging off Facebook at 7 p.m. These are self-care tools that will help you throughout your career with Scentsy, okay? Scentsy is super exciting and super fun, but also it can seem a little bit overwhelming when there's so much going on. You have so much to do and you work from home, right? Or you work from your phone. So making sure that you're taking the time for self-care is so important, okay? But what I want to talk to you guys a lot about is this first step in the legs of success, which is the sales, okay? PRV is the one thing in your Scentsy business that you can control the most. It's the one thing that you can continue to work hard for and continue to hustle for and try new things and talk to more people and have more conversations. And the higher your sales are, the more success you will find in your business, simply because there's more people in your business enjoying Scentsy. There's more people for you to follow up with, okay? And PRV is PRV. It does not matter how you get it, but it's very important that you recognize what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And don't be afraid, especially as new consultants, to try new things, okay? Right now with home parties, maybe you can get together for some sniff sessions, of course, but home parties aren't really the thing right now, of course, with COVID, but we can rock the heck out of bag parties and Facebook parties and virtual events, and we can follow up with our customers and utilize Scentsy Club and personal specials and the promotions that Scentsy gives us. So I want you guys to really to recognize that in order to have a successful business, before growing your team, before training your new consultants, before coaching them on what you're doing in your business, you have to make sure your personal business is in check and your PRV is in check, because you can't go recruit from the 7 people that are buying Scentsy from you month after month. Okay. You can't build lots of relationships with 7 to 10 people, right? Those people will eventually be Scentsied out after buying for 3-4 months in a row. So you want to be networking and growing your business and trying new things. And if it's not working, try something else or switch it up or ask for help. But sales is your number one goal. Okay. You want to make sure that you are sharing Scentsy and you're sharing it with your friends. You're talking about it. You're proud. Do not hide behind your Scentsy business. Be bold. People love watching your Scentsy journey. Okay. And if you're sharing and having conversations and offering samples and getting testers or samples or rub and smell stickers under people's noses and following up with them and just living the Scentsy life, then I think that you'll find that the PRV is a very natural result of that. Okay. But I know that I'm going to pass this on to Leslie. Okay. And she's going to talk about the benefits of partying and how awesome having parties is for your PRV and for your business. So Leslie, I'm going to pass it to you, girl.
Can you guys hear me? Yes? Okay, because it like went all weird as soon as you stopped. Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, I'm Leslie. I'm a director. Woo! So so yes, like Alex touched on, the first thing first is your sales. How are you gonna get like to your sales? Parties. There's like tons of different parties you can do. You can do Facebook parties, home parties, bag parties, texting parties. I've done a few of those. And hold on, let me get my notes real quick. So benefits of parties. Going out of your comfort zone. Parties can be really scary and something you're not super comfortable with, and going into people's homes and meeting new people, it can all be really scary and overwhelming. But it's taking the first step into growing your business and meeting new people and growing those relationships. So like during your parties with your displays, you're literally showing people what Scentsy looks like in their house and how their house can smell with Scentsy. And then you're also showing them the opportunity if they were to decide to join Scentsy. So parties are huge. You should every month be front loading your calendars for either Facebook parties. If you are doing home parties because of, COVID, it can be a little tricky. So, just communicate with the person that's wanting to host the party on what they want to do. Sorry, I lost my notes. But another really great, amazing benefit of, I don't know if I already said this, of home parties is you have potential hosts, you can have potential recruits. So it's really important during your parties to set it. Normally when I do home parties at like the end of like my presentation and everything, I'll have like a couple joint conversations with a few of the girls that had mentioned they were interested, have them send home a pouch party or a basket, whatever they're called, and then have them share the products with their friends and family, take it to work, whatever. So parties are awesome. You guys should all be having a party, home, Facebook, whatever. They're great. They're great for boosting your PRV. I think that's all I had. I know I went really fast, so sorry, whoever goes next. Let me see through my notes really quick. Yeah, no, that's it.
Okay, now we're going to Mariah. Mariah's got that good on customer relationships. So let's see. You're good to go, Mariah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't see myself as like big, so I'm like waiting. Like, hello. I still only see Leslie. Anywho, okay. Hey y'all. My name is Mariah Paisano. I am the newest star director of this group, which is so huge and such a blessing. And I will be talking to you guys about VIP care. And why I wanted to take this is because I have amazing, fun, blessings of stories that come out of my VIP, which is crazy because when I started Scentsy, I did not even fathom in my wildest dreams the relationships that I have with my customers that have turned into like family. And so VIP groups are really huge towards your business, I believe, and I know a lot of other consultants believe, just because they're obviously great to post our sales, our limited time offers in there, all the goodies and stuff like that. But what is really good too is to make sure, which I like that they know you, like you, and trust you. Because those are huge components in your guys' like relationship for, consultant to customer, that can, grow into something later, like I said, that I have had. So, make sure obviously that I'm sure that they like you if they're in your VIP group. But, I think something too is just make it a place where it's not like the rest of Facebook too. Just because, we see so much like political stuff out there, and just, I don't feel like that's the right place for VIP groups. And maybe some would argue, obviously politics, but the religion side, but that's based on you. For me, they know I love Jesus. I go to church. And so that is very much a part of who I am. And I do say like, hey y'all, happy Sunday, going to church. What are you guys doing? If you're not comfortable with that, that's fine. I do that just because majority of my VIP group does personally know me. And so, if that is something that you'd like to contribute or just different realms, then totally, then that's safe. Relationships, and trust you. Okay, so know you, like you, and trust you. I love to, we all have our bundle and save deals, but the fact that they're going to trust that you're always going to have like their best interest, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to save you a couple bucks. I love having the opportunity, because sometimes they could see it, but they skim past it, when they're going through the catalog, or it's really hard and they're not going to pay attention to it, like to find it on your website. And so if you just reiterate that, like, hey, I'm going to save you a couple bucks, like you already picked 4 bars. Why don't you just do, the buy 5, get 1 free? And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I totally forgot, or thank you, and so, or there's just different bundles, but just that they trust that you're always going to have their best interest in mind. Or, hey, I know that you have like little ones, and I know you said you were worried about the wax, so how about we try, our wall fan diffusers with some pods? Like, I think that's a great idea, and just like building these different trusts with them. So one story I wanted to share, because this is just crazy. I was at, I think it was like 2.5 years ago now. I did a little event at Tractor Supply here in Ripon, and where I live. And it was so funny because it was right when I was setting up. It was so early in the morning, and this little old couple comes to my booth, and I'm like, hey, I'm just barely setting up, blah, blah. Anywho, she does not know me. She spent like $80 right off the bat and like, just give me her credit card. And I was like, okay, like that's fine. Anyways, you guys, this relationship, she is like, her and her husband are like adopted grandparents to my kids. They have come to Titus's first birthday party. I mean, like, they live right by me. I see them all the time. My husband knows that if I'm dropping off Miss Donna's order, I will be over there minimum of an hour, just sitting there talking with her. And so these are the kind of relationships that have been such a blessing to me and my family's lives that I had no idea that Scentsy could totally bring, besides the whole like wax and warmers and what's the next promotion, like just slow down. And I love getting to know my VIPs because these are the people that keep you in business, y'all. Like, make sure you take care of them. Make sure, you know, that they know that you're going to be there for them, both personally and business. I love that my VIPs know that. And then I do post other things besides business in my VIP groups. And if you're starting one out, then I totally suggest like some icebreakers, or like, you know, a fun one right now is like, what's your favorite thing about fall, you know, or who's ready Christmas shopping, just different things to where it's not always like, hey, you know, buy this fragrance flower tomorrow. It's apple cinnamon sticks gonna go. Sorry, bye. Like, just let them, you know, just have some different vibes in there. And I guarantee you, when you do, I feel like you will see a little bit more participation, a little bit more likes here and there. And then, you know, eventually people will come out of the woodworks and totally. Another thing is they are watching. I promise you, I have had people in my VIP group for almost 3 years that I've been doing this, and literally 2 girls just text me that are barely about to order. So trust me, they've been there years, they've been watching, and now they're ready to order. So just stay consistent. And with that, that is all I have. And I am handing it off to Teresa now.
Can you guys hear me okay? Yes? Okay, good. I'm a little nervous, so I'm sorry if I like start talking really fast or I forget something, but I have a lot of notes. I'm going to be looking down a lot. The first thing I just wanted to say was do not give out your samples without getting their information. That is like the most important thing, because if you don't, you're just giving your money away and you'll probably never hear from them again, and that's not going to lead to anything good for you. So I learned that the hard way my first year, and I've gotten a lot better at it. But my next 3 notes would just be keep it simple. I mean, it's one of our core values for a reason. So I know when I first started, I was making it really difficult for myself, and I was making samples, and it would take me like all day, literally all day, to make a handout. And it was like, it should not be this hard. So keep it simple. It literally took me like 2 minutes to put this together. Have your stickers printed out. I always choose one day of the week to get all of my samples done, so that if I have to get anything ready, or I just put these together like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I have them ready for when I have to drop it off at the dentist office, or I'm making a run to the post office. I always have these ready to hand out. They're by my front door. My husband knows to grab one when he's going to do a job in someone's house, and he just hands these out for me. So that's my number one thing, is keeping it simple. It shouldn't be hard, and if it's hard, you got to rethink about our core values, keeping it simple. I used to make room spray samples, and then they stopped doing that, but it would take me forever, and it's so much easier to not do the hard things. My second thing is to be generous. I know sometimes it's a little bit hard, especially when you're starting out, but if you use your party rewards the right way, it's, I mean, free for you to do your samples if you use your host credits and your free credits in your parties. And I'm going to show you guys just a couple of the things I have in here. I know we all have like a bunch of leftovers of these. Y'all know you have baskets worth of these. Give them out to your customers. Every catalog change, I separate all of my testers, and I keep my fall and winter and my spring and summer ones separate. And when that next catalog hits, I grab these and I package them up, and I just put a little note that says, turn it upside down in your warmer. And that way they have samples. You're not having to melt anything, and you're giving it to them. So I put some of those in there. Our dish soap samples. I highly suggest everybody try to make a sample that's not just wax, because a lot of people, you'd be surprised, they don't know we're more than warmers and wax. And when they smell and try our other things, they're like, wow, I didn't know that there was other things other than warmers and wax. Your washer whiffs, your very next host credit, you guys. Get yourself a washer whiff tub for free and give it out because it's the Scentsy crack and you can't go without it. The one thing I don't have to show you guys is my Scentsy soak, and I've been having so many customers buy it just because I've been putting it into my sample packs when I give them their order. They are hooked on it now, and they go and order like 3-4 Scentsy soaks at a time. It's crazy. That's another part of what my notes was, is keep it authentic to you. Like, that's another one of our core values. And yes, we're warmers and wax, but what's your favorite product that you're like hooked on at the moment that you've been highlighting in your VIP? That's what you want to be sharing, because that's what they're going to see that you're super excited about, and they're going to want to do it too. So the dish soap, washer whiffs, and the Scentsy soak is like my go-to thing, like on the daily with my kids and cleaning. So it's something I always include in my pack. One of the other things I put in there is like a dryer disc, or one of the samples that comes in my whiff box every month. I don't use those. I send them out to my customers. It's one of the reasons why I get the whiff box, so I can get those samples, and then I just send them out. And then of course our monthly brochure, whatever. If you ran out from the current month, I always stick in, if I have leftover ones from the previous month, I stick one of those in. I don't do catalogs in my handouts. I usually just do the brochures because they're cheaper. Catalogs tend to be a little bit pricier to just hand out, and you don't know what's going to happen to it. So then my next note was just, anytime I hit a snag in my business, which is going to happen from time to time, I always bring myself back to the core values of keeping it authentic, keeping it simple, and being generous. And it's not hard, especially when we have our rewards and our host credits that we do for our own parties. And I think that's it. Don't give out those samples without giving info. And then I am handing it over to Mandy for the follow-up systems to do with your samples.
All right. Sorry, hang on a second. Okay, can you hear me? Good. All right, awesome. Okay, so my name is Mandy Ricosi. I am a superstar consultant. They let me in the director's circle to help with this program because I will be promoting to director. We're claiming it right now. This is our month. So I'm going to talk to you real quick about our follow-up systems. Specifically, I'm going to talk to you about Amy. It used to be called Maven. And I was reading some statistics today when I was just looking at the Amy FAQs and stuff. They surveyed different sellers, and 97% of them did not have a follow-up system. So, like, we know that consistent customer outreach and good follow-up is what makes our business successful. And so Amy provides, and I'm just gonna, I have it on my phone, so it's super easy. Right now it says I have 25 to-dos. I had that down to like 7 2 days ago, but trust me, it's been over 100. So it keeps yelling at you until you do it. And so it's really, really simple. It just, I don't know if it'll focus in on that, but it has all the to-dos, and it has like connect with new customers, re-engage past customers, grow and support your team, all those types of things. So it gives you all the to-dos. What I love about it is that you can customize your templates. So don't send out, you guys, do not send out the generic message that they give you on the app, because it will sound like a robot is contacting your customers, and nobody wants that. So go in, it's super easy. You can write, click on edit, You can design your own template so it sounds authentic to you. We're probably going to say that word a lot. Just make it authentic to who you are and to your business. And it will also save time so that when you are reaching out to every customer, you don't have to keep redoing your email or your text or whatever it is. And then I go through at least once a month and I redo my template for that month so that they're not getting the same letter or the same text, because they're not going to want to hear that either. That's another good thing about your customer follow-up. Don't send them the same message month after month after month. So unless you upgrade to the pro version, you're going to be limited to only 10 messages a month that you're able to send out. So I would recommend absolutely sign up for the pro version. It is, I wrote down here real quick, it's $7.99 a month. I don't do that one. I did the yearly. It's $77 upfront, and then you're set for the whole year, and it is worth it. So I also do and it depends on your style. So some people are better with pen and paper, and some people are better with like technology. I do a combination of all of them. So when I do I have my planner, and then the beginning of the month, should have had it open to that, but the beginning of the month I have all these different like check sheets and my tracking logs, and then I just made this really, really simple customer log. I don't know where I am on the camera. Just a really simple customer log, and I have like their name, the product they ordered, and then I have like a thank you and a follow-up. And so this is better for me for like right after they order. So like I have like all my harvest ones on there right now, are my Groots and all those kind of things. So I check off when I send them a thank you. Then when they get delivered, then I will go back and I'll follow up. But all of that to say, with the sampling, Amy makes it super easy. You go in, you say, you log that you sent them a sample, and then they're gonna give you like a custom reminder that you gave them the sample, because if we don't follow up with all those samples, we give them samples of the month, and we never follow up with them, that month comes and goes. If they loved it and they forgot to order, they're not going to get it because it's gone now, and they weren't able to add it to their club, or they weren't able to purchase a bar that you had. So you have to follow up with those samples. And I usually do it within a week, because maybe they've had time to melt the wax sample, or they've had time to do this and that. But if we are not following up, we are literally wasting our money, we are wasting our time and our resources, and we're wasting potential sales. I have had sales I never expected because I gave a sample, and they'll order what I gave them a sample of, but they'll also order, you know, this, and this, and this. And that would have never happened if I didn't say, hey, how did you like your sample? Did you use it? And so that's basically it. Find a system that literally works for you, whether it's pen and paper, but if you have never tried the Amy app, download the free trial. I think you get a month with the free trial, 3 months, 3 weeks, what? 3 months? I don't know. Okay, 3 months. I didn't check that, but you get the trial and it's perfect. And then you can just, you know, subscribe to the pro and don't waste your money. There you go. So now it is Brandy is gonna close us out.
Can you guys hear me? All right. Hi, everyone. In my son's room, don't mind all of his nonsense. I'm hiding from my kids. Let's see. I am going to talk to you guys about consistency. Same thing. I'll be looking down at my notes. A little bit nervous. Don't mind me today. Let's see. So you're going to hear, you've heard all of us say the same thing at some point in what we have presented you tonight. Be authentic, whether it's in your consistency, it's in what you're sharing, it's in your conversations. Your customers are going to know when you've copied and pasted something and not made it your own. They're going to know when you're sending the same text to everybody, you're just copy and pasting. Make everything authentically you. It's a huge part of being consistent because you can't consistently be somebody else. And make sure you have realistic expectations for yourself too while you're being consistent. Creating content to share takes time. It does get easier the more you do it. You guys, I was a mess. 13 months ago, I started this journey and I copied and pasted. I've done some of the wrong things, okay? I've shared just marketing stuff, and I hit some goals in the beginning, and I had months where I brought home a $200 paycheck, and I'm like, what is going on here? So just set yourself some realistic expectations and practice. You can't get good at something that you don't work towards. You want to focus on perfecting one or two things in your business instead of being mediocre at all the things. Find a couple things to start with, consistently work and practice on those things. And once you've perfected them and they've become a habit, not something you have to do, then move on to something else. And you will evolve and you will become better and better at all the things throughout your business. Remember, you can be your own worst enemy too. You're going to be your biggest obstacle at times. There's going to be times where you completely stumble and get in your own way. Nobody else is judging you the way you're judging yourself. I promise. There are so many people looking at you going, how does she do that? How is she managing this? While you're beating yourself up and wondering, what the heck is going on and why am I messing up? I promise you're your own worst critic. Let's see. Totally lost my place. Sorry, guys. Oh yeah, consistency creates credibility too. Even if everything you're doing is not generating a sale right that minute, you're building that credibility, you're building that bond, those relationships, which are key. Each activity is going to build your credibility, build your relationship, and you're consistently putting yourself in front of those customers, in front of those friends, family, everybody, and you're reminding them hey, I'm still here. Even if they're not buying from you that day, that week, that month. I have customers that have been watching me for 6 months, you guys, and all of a sudden they pop up and they're like, okay, this spray you're spraying every day, or the spray your son helps you with, what is it? All my customers know Jackson calls my Fresh mommy spray, and he runs around and says psh, 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 every time I spray it. And do you know, I have got so many people that'll text me and be like, what's Jackson's psh, psh, or Jackson's mommy spray? Guys, they're paying attention, I promise, even when you don't think so. Jumping over to, budgeting your time accordingly. Don't overwhelm yourself. Guys, like I said, pick a couple things, perfect those, and then move on. Because if you are trying to take on all the things, you're going to make yourself crazy, you're going to overwhelm yourself, and it makes it chaos. All of you can relate to things in your own house. Your chores, your whatever you're doing. If you don't have some kind of system, it's haywire, the kids are a mess, your husband, your partner, whatever, everyone's a mess, right? Do the same thing with your business. Make habits, consistently show up and do the things. Find some way to organize whatever works for you. We've all seen Alex's stories of her office and her 15 and her 30-minute cleanups. You guys, I love them. I watch her and I'm like, dude, I'm in awe. I wish in 15 or 30 minutes, my house could go from a train wreck to looking pretty and presentable. It doesn't because I'm sidetracked 37 times. Find what works for you because it's not going to work for everybody. You have to find your own systems and consistently show up for yourself. Another thing you need to do in being consistent is learning to set boundaries. As you're promoting, as you're moving up and building a team, you have to have boundaries for yourself, for your team. You have to know how to say no and when to say no. Being consistent doesn't mean that you're consistently working someone else's business. Consistently work your business, help your team have the tools to consistently work their own business, and be there to support them. It's not your job to work for them. It's your job to support them and nurture them and help them grow into their own leaders. Earlier, when I was reading through some information, I found this quote. Where'd it go? Oh, doing it all won't make you superhuman or a super leader, but it will make you super stressed. You guys, so true. Don't overwhelm yourself. I'll say it 10 billion times. Focus on a couple things at a time and perfect those. I have 4 boys running around my house. 3 of them are 4 and under and 1 with special needs. You guys, find what works for you, because what works for me is not going to work for my other girls. Even the girls on my downline, they'll message me about things and I'm like, I've never thought to do it that way, or I don't even know how they do things that way, but it's working for them. Find your own lane and work it, guys. Get yourself an accountability partner. It's huge. I know for a long time I was just floating along, doing whatever, and it showed. I was a lead for like 6 months, 7 months, and life happened. I just kind of sat there and I floated along. Once I started finding a way to hold myself accountable, got an accountability partner, started checking in, you're going to progress. You're going to figure out what you need to focus on, or if you're focusing on things that really don't matter, even though you think they do. Do yourself a favor, make yourself a vision board too, guys. It is a game changer. Have those goals in front of your face and find ways to consistently work towards them. And then also surround yourself with people who have similar goals and ambitions. My goals might be different from the next person's. Get yourself a team of people around you that you can talk to, that are on the same page as you, and that will help build you up and push you in the direction you want to go. Don't try to find someone else's direction and go for it. Find people that want to go in the same direction as you. Let's see. I think that's about all I have for consistency, as I kind of just jumped around and word vomited. Sorry. I am also going to do the intro for week 2's call. Next week, we're going to be working on sponsoring. Make sure you guys are here. Same time next week, we're going to be hearing about your list of 100 and turning it into your dream team, your why and your relationships, going for the no, join packets, party flipping and host kits, and branding and sharing the Scentsy life. All kinds of more good information, guys. So I hope to see you all next week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brandy. You guys, that was so much information and a lot of useful information. So if you guys have any questions, it looks like we have a few extra minutes. So just use the chat box to type your questions and we will kind of go through those. I know there's one about having joint conversations at home parties. So we're going to touch on that. I just wanted to mention that you'll notice we did not mention sponsoring until a minute ago, okay? We didn't talk about growing your team. We didn't talk about having conversations, join packets, new consultant training. We didn't talk about any of that today intentionally because we want you guys to understand how important it is for you to have your business in check and to have your business going in the right direction before you start growing your team. And to some people that can take 3 to 6 months to get the hang of. For some people, it can be in their first month. For some people, they can be Scentsy consultants for years until deciding they want to take their business to the next level. It doesn't matter the timeline, but what matters is that you recognize how important it is to have your PRV, to build those customer relationships, to have parties and expand your network, and how to sample with a purpose. You guys, we don't want to just be handing things out. We want to be very intentional about our work and intentional about being consistent and being authentic to ourselves and stepping into our Scentsy journey boldly and proud and authentically us, right? And so we wanted to spend a whole day, a whole evening, a whole training on that idea and that concept, because it is the most important. You cannot go into the next chapter of sponsoring unless you have this step of your business in check. And I take that back, because you can go into sponsoring right away. But my guess is that it would be a little bit of a struggle, or you would hit a wall. Okay. When you have your business in check, and you front load your calendar, and you book those parties, and you're meeting new people, and you have the high PRV, that is going to take you into your next step of sponsoring. Okay. And then when you're in sponsoring and you're working on your PRV and you're kind of doing both of those at the same time, then what that does is it gives you content to go into the next step, which is training, coaching, working with your team. Okay. But at first you have to get your business down, and you have to get your PRV in check, and you have to make sure that you're developing systems, and we're going to talk about systems. Okay. But you're developing systems for your own personal business, the follow-up system, the Amy app, pen and paper, the sheets, knowing every single month I'm going to book 3 Facebook parties, a grab bag party. I'm going to follow up. I have my VIP group. I'm going to try these mystery bags. You know, that's an example of knowing where your PRV is coming from, okay? Especially if you're a brand new consultant, you're doing a lot of sharing, you're doing a lot of talking, you're doing a lot of booking parties, okay? But all of that builds onto the next step, which is growing your business, okay? And growing your team. So with that being said, next week, we're going to dive more into sponsoring. Like Brandy mentioned, we're going to have a lot of cool topics that are going to help you dive into that. But over the next week or so, I want to really encourage you to look at your personal business and maybe even write down everything you do in your business in a week's time. What are you doing? Okay. And then on another note, you could write down what could you be doing, and find where you can implement some of those things into your business. Okay. I also wanted to mention that we will be doing coaching calls, and we'll be connecting with our teams to do coaching calls to work one-on-one with you guys this month as well too. So looks like we have a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bree.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, Rachel's got a good question about how to find an accountability partner.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that so an accountability partner, let's just be very clear, is a person who you recognize and you both have an understanding that with the goals set in front of you, that you guys can bounce ideas off of each other. You guys can keep each other in line. You guys are, maybe she wants to be a director and you're okay just sponsoring people and having it be wherever it lands. That's okay. It doesn't have to be that you guys are on the same path. But recognize that an accountability partner is not somebody who you just continually feed from, and it's not somebody who's giving you life. It's not somebody who is, when you're feeling down about something, selling out or whatever, they're down in the dumps with you and they're pulling you down and they're sucking energy out of you, and they're not building you back up. You need people, you need a person, at least one person that will be able to, we need one person at least that is going to be the person who we go to get us back on track, to be able to talk to us about our goals, to realign us. Okay. And some of us are lucky enough to have a group of people like that. But really all you need is one. And you can find those outside of Scentsy, and that's really great. If you have a best friend who is cheering you on in your Scentsy journey, and maybe she doesn't completely understand everything that's going on with Scentsy, but she still is there when you need to vent, but then picks you back up. If that's a friend that's outside of Scentsy, then more power to you. You are lucky to have that. But what I would recommend and what I would advise is for you to look for, either in this team or to be actively involved in other Scentsy events that come along, like World Tour, Scentsy Family Reunion, incentive trips, those kinds of things, because maybe it's not going to be somebody on our team that you vibe with. Maybe you just don't find that person here, and that's okay. There is nothing wrong with that, but there is a lot to be said for having a person inside of this business who understands every single milestone that you go through. Every single bump in the road, every single sellout, every single promotion that you get, they get it and they understand, and they're there to sympathize with you when things go wrong, and they're also there to cheer you on because they recognize how big of a deal it is to promote to lead, how big of a deal it is to sponsor, and all of those things. I'll be with you in just a second, okay? That's a big deal. And so having that accountability partner and having that person to be able to go to when those things are going on is so important. So if you have not found that person yet, sorry, children, out. So if you have not found that person yet on this team, I would highly recommend, if you are not active on our team page, then you need to get active on our team page, because you will never find an accountability person by sitting back and just being a ghost on our page. Okay. And so start commenting on things. It doesn't have to be a, hey, single white female, like out here just trying, looking for my new best friend. Like, it doesn't have to be that kind of thing, but you're never going to connect with somebody if you don't speak that, hey, yeah, I'm struggling with the same thing. How do I get my host to participate? Like, that might turn into, hey, can you text me about how you had a successful party after this? All of that kind of stuff. You'll never get to that level if you aren't actively participating on our team page. And like I said, it doesn't have to be somebody on our team, but you're never going to know unless you get out there. And I find it hard pressed to say that at least for Sent to Dreamers, we're 275 wide. I find it hard pressed that you would not be able to find somebody on this team that you can connect with. Like, I really would find that hard to believe, but that doesn't mean that you can't find somebody else somewhere, or that you can't have multiple people, because you absolutely can. And so get connected in any facet that you can on our team page, World Tour. There's a lot of Scentsy consultant groups on Facebook that you can get involved in, and get connected there. Don't be afraid to speak out. Don't be afraid to talk about what you're struggling with, because isn't that where we find the greatest connection with people, is in the midst of struggle? That's where we connect, because somebody's done that before. Let's see how we can get out of it, or let me tell you what I did, and all of a sudden it's a connection that you would have never known about before. So those accountability partners are so important, and there is a lot to be said for it. So I highly encourage you to go out and search for that. And you know what, you guys? Cool. You can find it right here. Like, we are there was 40 of us on here earlier. There's 36 now. We're all going through this together. I bet you can find somebody who is going through something that you're going through, or is in the same exact position you are. And it doesn't have to be that one person has achieved what you want. You guys can walk that path together. And that's one of the really cool things about sponsoring people in your life, your best friend, all that, because you guys get to walk that together. And more often than not, that person can become your accountability partner. So this group right here, if you don't have one, is a great place to start. Connect with the people who you see on here, and we'll have that post that's on the team, on the True Life page, where you can connect with people when they're talking about what they learned tonight or what they learned next week. Connect with those people when you see them commenting, because this is the perfect place to find that person. So don't take that lightly. Don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. If you are an introvert, we have plenty of introverts, okay? Y'all can get together, be silent, be introverted together, okay? That's okay. There is nothing wrong with that, okay? I am not that person, but I am a good listener. But definitely find your person, find your people, because you need somebody. We need community, and we are better together. But having that one person you can text at midnight when you're trying to get that Jack Skellington, there is nothing like it, okay? So do that, step outside of your comfort zone.
Boom. Dang, girl. That's what's up. I totally agree. I feel like if you are looking for an accountability partner, let's make it happen. There's definitely enough people to really like have conversation and connect with. So it's super important. I saw a question from Val. Sarah was agreeing about, actually, there we go. Sarah was agreeing about how do you get contact information when you're giving out a sample? And I'm going to tell you what I do, but then I want to pass it to Teresa to see what she does because I know there's lots of different ways to do this. For me, I personally, first of all, wholeheartedly agree with Teresa. Don't give out samples without having a way to follow up with them. Right now, if I'm giving out a sample, I will, they'll say, thank you. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I'll say, yeah, I'd love to add you to my customer group on Facebook. Are you on Facebook? Yes, I am. Okay, great. I'll text you the link for you to join. What's your phone number? Boom, there you have her phone number. You're getting her in your customer group. You can follow up with her, and then she's seeing Scentsy all the time. So that's what I do. I'll be honest, I don't really like go out of my, I don't give out samples as much as I used to, which I probably should do more when I'm out and about, like with the barista or the checkout clerk or something. That would be a great opportunity to give samples. But you guys, if you have your samples with you all the time, it can be something like putting a sample and a catalog and maybe a scent circle. It doesn't have, you don't have to do a scent circle, but in your kids' Friday folders at school, or when you get groceries delivered, give it to the driver delivering your groceries. Or if your husband's going to work, can he take your samples and catalogs to work, right? So there's lots of different ways that you can intentionally sample, but that's one way that I like from complete strangers, I would get them in my VIP group and I would text them the link. That way I have their number. Teresa, do you do anything different for that?
Hear me now? Yes? Okay. So when I first started, I'm a super introvert. I guess you could say I used to be. I'm not so much anymore because I get in people's faces now. So I'm gonna, before I would hand them the sample and I would be so like, have so much anxiety, I would not ask for their info. And then I'm like, I'm giving them all these samples, and if you add it up, it's got to be at least like $3 to $5, right? I don't like giving my money away, you guys. So what I started doing pre-COVID, I would say when I would hand them the sample and they're looking at it, I'm like, hey, can I get your phone number so that I can text you and see which one was your favorite? I really like hearing feedback, so I know what my customers want and everybody's enjoying. And they'd be like, oh, sure. And then they'd give me their phone number and I'd put it into my phone, and that's how I would contact them back, by asking if I could get their feedback on what their favorite product was and their goodies. Now I do Popl. I don't know if you guys have heard of Popl. It's this little thing on your phone. It was an investment. I think it's like $19.95 or something like that. It makes it more fun now. They're looking at their goodies and I'll be like, oh, do you have your phone with you? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, I want to see something cool. And I tap my phone like near where their camera is. And it's basically like Linktree, but all that info pops up on their phone. And they're like, oh, wow, that's so cool. How did you do that? And then it turns into a conversation about this. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, here's my Facebook VIP page, and then blah, blah, blah. I just like tap their phone and add them to my VIP, and they're on there. So then I can follow up with them that way. I didn't used to get in people's phones like that, but Scentsy has opened up that for me now. And I just like tap, tap, tap. Oh, you're in my VIP. Cool. I'll follow up with you next week. If they don't have their phone on them, I write it down or I put it in my phone and I'm like, okay, well, I'll, ask you which your favorite was or anything like that. But it's POPL. It's a website you can order it from, POPL. And it's this little thing. I'll show it to you guys so you know that you're ordering the right one. I don't know if you can see it. It's like an iridescent color. It's just a little like RFID chip. I'm also going to be putting one in my car, like on the back where my Scentsy Independent Consultant logo is. I'm going to be like, tap your phone here to get my catalog. And then I'll just have this on there. But that's my new way of doing it because it just makes it interesting for them. They're like, oh, wow, how did you do that? You buy it for $19.95. When it gets to you, then you update all your links that you want, like Linktree, and it pops up that way for them. So it's pretty cool. The few people that I've done it with are really interested, and they keep tapping my phone to see it pop up over and over again. So that's how I've been doing it now to make sure I can follow up with them.
Awesome. Thank you. I love that. I saw commercials for that too, actually. Okay, so the only question I think we did not touch on is the one with the home party. Veronica, you said, how do you spark up a join conversation at a home party? I play games that encourage them asking questions and kind of go from there. And if they seem super interested, then I mention it to them when they're giving me their order. I'll be like, you asked a lot of questions about joining. Would that be something that you're interested in or want more information on? So I do a lot of games that encourage them asking questions. Bree, do you do anything different for your home parties or parties in general, I guess?
No, I do the game thing too, but the one thing that I have recently adopted with any kind of joint conversation that I'm having is Debbie Pitts Palmer's verbiage that she uses. She's a superstar director. She's amazing. She recruits like a dozen people a month. Like, she is a recruiting animal. And she is just she's authentic and genuine and everything. But the verbiage that she uses, I just really love. And so I've implemented that a lot. And she simply, in the midst of a conversation, when she feels like it's going in that direction, all she asks is, have you ever thought about doing what I do? And I love that, because when we go back to the people are always watching and trying to get away from this idea of selling Scentsy, right? We ask people, hey, do you want to come sell Scentsy with me? But then once they get in, we're like, but you don't really have to sell Scentsy. It kind of sells itself. It's like a contradiction. And so, have you ever thought about doing what I do? People are watching you just share what you love on social media. They're watching you have fun with your team. They're watching you make samples. They're watching you make your house smell good. And people, honestly, nobody has said, no, I haven't thought about it. People say yes. Now, whether they actually hit that join button could be a different story, but people say yes because they do think about it. So verbiage is really important. And so whether you're at a home party or you're just texting somebody or just having that conversation in whatever atmosphere, consider the verbiage that you're using, and please do use that verbiage when you're talking to somebody. Just simply ask them, hey, I mean, I've done it to people who I've literally just been in the midst of texting somebody and I didn't think about it before, but they're placing a big order with me. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, hey, have you ever thought about doing what I do? Because why not ask that question, right? And so my biggest change has been verbiage. And obviously with the lack of home parties, I've been doing Facebook parties, and typically my ask is to the host. And so with that, I also add, because you've done so well at your party, you could make this much commission, we can flip it to you, and I get to add in those little extras. And so that's the same can be said for an in-home party. So if you're gonna extend a joint conversation to somebody who's not the host at a party, you can use the same type of enticement by saying, hey, your friend Sally is, she has $500 in orders and she could make this much if she joined. The same could be said for you. We could have a launch party. You really love Scentsy already. Have you considered doing what I do? And just use that same type of verbiage. And so just consider what you say, and then don't be afraid to say it. But the cool thing is we're going to talk more about that next week. So hopefully you guys come back for that, because we will be diving deeper.
Yep. Okay, guys, I think that pretty much wraps up our week 1. We just wanted to come talk to you guys about your personal business. And next week we're diving in, guys. We're going to talk about sponsoring and all the things. So we'll chat more tomorrow. I'm going to put up a Leap to Lead post, pin it in the announcements. That's where we can chat about any questions and things like that. So we'll talk more tomorrow. We'll meet here again next Monday on the 14th at 8:30 Texas time, 6:30 California time, and all the time zones in between. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for spending your Monday evening, holiday evening with us. It means so much. This is going to be uploaded to YouTube also tomorrow. I'll post it on the True Life page and you can tag your teammates or send it to them or whatever. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys so much and we will catch y'all next Monday. Okay. Bye guys.